Friends, now I'll be reading the editorial from The Hindu of 20th February 2023 at 100 words per minute in 5 seconds. Begin. The faction of Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has, at least for now, won the battle for the Shiv Sena legacy, with the Election Commission of India allotting the party name and the bow and arrow symbol to it. The ECI overruled the plea by the other faction led by former Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray to withhold the decision until the Supreme Court of India decides on a set of interlinked questions related to the split in the party that led to Mr. Thackeray losing the CM's chair to Mr. Shinde in June 2022. The test of majority principle applied by the ECI went in favor of Shinde Group, which has 40 MLAs and 13 MPs compared to the 15 MLAs and 5 MPs on Thackeray's side. The Shinde Group represented significantly more voters than the Thackeray faction. Among those who voted for the party in the last elections, the ECI concluded the ECI decided not to go into the test of party constitution, a second touchstone applicable in such situations, in as indictment of Mr. Thackeray, who made changes to the Sena constitution unilaterally and self-servingly. The ECI decision is a setback to Mr. Thackeray, who is struggling hard to retain control of the party founded by his father in 1966. The court is scheduled to start hearing on petitions by both camps that claim to be the real Shiv Sena from February 21st onwards. Whichever faction is accepted to be the real Shiv Sena would have the authority to coerce legislators through whips, as in provisions of the anti-defection law. The Shinde faction argues that the chief minister took control of the party following an internal rebellion, and as per majority desire, the nobody has defected as is accused by the Thackeray faction. The court is also examining whether a presiding officer whose legitimacy is itself under a cloud could go on to determine the disqualification of legislators under the anti-defection law. Considering that these questions will be argued in the highest court in the coming week, the ECI could have waited. It is not likely that the ECI's decision on the name and the symbol which also be raised in court. The legal tussle apart, the real combat between the two factions is for the popular base. On this count, to Mr. Thackeray appears to have ceded ground to Mr. Shinde, who is expanding his hold over cadres and networks. Evidently, Mr. Shinde's political alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party is more palatable to party workers who have been fed on high doses of religious extremism and religious fanaticism over the years than Mr. Thackeray's opportunistic experiments with the Congress and National Congress Party. The Supreme Court has rightly shot down the brazen and legally untenable claim that the nominated members of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi may be allowed to vote in the election of its mayor. The Bharatiya Janata Party sought to bend the rules to allow 10 aldermen nominated by the Lieutenant Governor to vote in the election despite the law limiting the process to elect councillors. Though that a question concerning a mayoral election should engage national attention is due to the political acrimony between the ruling BJP at the centre and the Aam Aadmi Party, which runs the election regime in the National Capital Territory of Delhi. The BJP sought to interpret the relevant provisions in the Constitution and the Delhi Municipal Corporation Act in such a way that the specific bar on nominated members voting in meetings of the corporation should not be applied to its first meeting at which the mayor and deputy mayor are elected. It takes a particularly perverse political imagination to argue that meetings do not include the first meeting. 3 attempts to hold the mayoral election following the MCD polls that took place in December 2022 were stalled by clashes between AAP and BJP councillors over this question. The verdict vindicates the position of AAP, which has 134 councillors in the 250-member council against the BJP's 104. It is unfortunate that before the court, the Lieutenant Governor also the questionable political stand that the restriction on the right to vote in Article 243 of the Constitution and the proviso to Section 33 of the Act was limited to regular meetings and not to the first meeting of the council. The court rejected the argument, noting that the law provides for the nomination of 10 people with special knowledge and experience in municipal administration but without any voting right. In keeping with the court's order, Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena has now approved February 22 as the date for the election of the mayor, deputy mayor and 6 members of the standing committee. Last year, Parliament passed a law to merge the 3 corporations in Delhi into a single entity, a decision criticized for reversing the trend of having compact local bodies for better delivery of civic services. Delhi's lack of statehood is a source of conflict between the centre and the elected regime in the capital territory. But the political protagonist should not allow Delhi's administrative services to be plagued by the tussle. The core message from the Constitution Bench judgment of 2018 that elected bodies should not be undermined by unelected administrators is yet to hit home. Towards the end of 2022, a hugely significant moment in the post-independence history of India, Indian Muslims slipped by under the radar. The Jamaat Ulama in Hind, the oldest Muslim organization in India, with its root in the National Freedom Movement filed a petition in the Supreme Court of India seeking reservation for Dalit Muslims for admission to schools, colleges, and government jobs. In a country where demands are periodically made for reservation on the lines of caste or region, not many comprehended the significance of this demand. Stop. Thank you.